Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox on Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just, fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. It all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna. Dallas Keuchel Lamson got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
It's a White Sox winner.
I'm your boy Buzz. I'm joined by my dude, Jonnie, and we are here to recap a White Sox 10-7 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays. Before we do that, be sure you're going on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at SoxOnTap, at OnTapSportsNet. Following Jonnie at Johnny, and me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. 5-star rating and review because that's cool and tough. And if you need any White Sox gear or Chicago sports gear, check out Grandstand. If you're at the ballpark, walk on over. Or if you want to order online, you can go to grandstandsox.com and follow them on socials at Grandstand Sox. Jonnie, Sox win 10-7. Bats came alive. Good shit. The return of Carlos Rodon. It was a good afternoon, my friend.
Yeah, overall, end result, Buzz, yes, definitely a good afternoon. I would say so. End result, you can take that. Obviously, this episode's called Crisis Averted. Got a little interesting, a little too interesting for our liking in the middle innings, kind of, themes that we have talked about previously, just in recent days on the show, showing back up. But we'll get into all that at the end of the day. Hey, that's a Sox winner, and you go 7-7 on the stretch, this tough 14-game one with all these tough teams and AL opponents that are right around the playoff push or in a playoff spot currently. So that was good to see. End of the day, White Sox win. I will drink to that.
Yeah, definitely going to have a drink with you if you're in here on the live. Have a drink. Have a drinky, Rand. Have a drink.
Yeah, a little drinky poo.
Okay. So Rodon's back. Look good. He got, I could tell like he didn't have the command at first. He didn't have a lot of strikeouts today, Jonnie, but he kept his pitch count down, which I thought was real good. He went 5 innings. He only had 67 pitches, struck out 3 in those 5 innings. He let up 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, walked 1, let up 1 long ball. The long ball came to none other than Marcus Semien in the bottom of the first inning there. He homered to left field. Rodon looked good, and I'm glad that he's back. And I think that he came in right away against a team that's, I think they're 5 games out of a wild card right now, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they're in a tough AL East. Like you and I both know, AL East ain't no fucking joke. It's tough over there. So, and they're holding their own as a young squad too. Their team, their pitching is good. They have like a 3.87 ERA for like all their starters. So pitching is decent. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good. That's collective. And then they're batting like 263 as a team. That's better than the Sox. Yeah. So Rodon had a huge test coming into this game, man. And he fucking proved out. He showed out, and I was proud of him.
Yeah, not an easy start to come back to because the Blue Jays are a free-swinging team. So you talked about, pitch count being low and then also strikeout total being low. Like you said, only 3 on the day. But that's because the Blue Jays are trying to jump on everything early. So you get a lot of outs that are ground balls, fly outs, what have you. Obviously sprinkled in 3 Ks there. Biggest thing for me was seeing the fastball velo hovering between 93 and 97 range, kind of sat early, 94, 95 pretty consistently. And then in his later innings, as we've seen him do when he's at his most effective, jump that thing up to the 96, 97, pumping it up there. So that was good first start back for Carlos Rodon. Like you said, not an easy task going up against the Blue Jays in this start, but at the same time, he gets right there and grabs the bull by the horns and gives you a chance to win. And obviously the bats helped him out here too, Buzz.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's where Cesar Hernandez comes into play here. He's been under a little bit of scrutiny lately, for sure. A lot of people not happy with his performance since he's come over, Jonnie. I think some of it's fair. I think that, obviously he's not a world beater at the plate. He's really good defensively, and he's got some pop, and that's why he's here. But he hits a home run to left today, Jonnie, and it felt like that ball was kind of carrying to left today a little bit. And I will say that a DJ on the radio broadcast brought that up about how like the difference between closed roof to open roof makes over in Toronto. But yeah, he started off the scoring today in the top of the second, and the next run to come after that was my pick to clicks, Luis Roberts' home run in the third. But yeah, they got it off right away. Take a 3-1 lead relatively early in the game.
Yeah, it's a simple formula, Buzz. We talk about it all the time, and it sounds elementary, but it's true. Ball go far, team go far. And when the White Sox hit home runs, I don't have the stats pulled up right in front of me, but the record is definitely way better than when they don't hit home runs. So good to see that getting going early. And I think Cesar Hernandez, touching on him really quick. First of all, a nice game overall today, both in the field and at the plate. Obviously, a home run, a couple hits. That does the trick. And I think it kind of maybe is our guy, CWS DJT, contributor on Tap Sportsnet. He had suggested that maybe just, sometimes it takes an infield single like you got in last night's game to kind of get you rolling again. So that may play a factor, but he had himself a nice game today, obviously getting the scoring open for the White Sox to tie it up at 1 in the top of the second, like you mentioned. And then Timmy kind of starting this thing in the third inning. You talk about White Sox going up 3-1, 4-1 here. Timmy starts with 2 outs there. So bottom of the order kind of gets out there. Feel like that might be a lost inning. Tim Anderson, 2-out single. Then Luis Robert coming up. Absolute bomb. That thing was a moonshot, Buzz. That thing, I like, if the roof was closed, I felt like I might have hit it.
Oh, dude, I love that it was center too. It just shows the strength, and it look. I mean, he got all of it.
So effortless.
That's what I'm saying. It looked effortless. Like it's like the Eloy shit that we talk about all the time. Yeah. It's just like doink, and you're like, well, and then it just like cruises out of there. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm just so happy. He's been so effective since his return.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to see because when you talk about Luis Robert, not to go off on a tangent here, but just about him very briefly here, you always know the defense is always going to be there just because he is so athletic. He's so young. He's so fast. You're always going to get pretty damn solid defense out of him. He's going to make some diving plays, cover a lot of ground. We all know that. But we have seen times where the bat has just gone cold. Think about the end of last year. He started off great, really hot for the first month and a half. And obviously it was only like a 2.5 month season, but the second half of that thing, bat really fell off. Obviously, you're still getting the defensive value, but the bat really fell off. For him to come back, make a little adjustment to his swing, to his stance, you're seeing the results of it here. And then they wouldn't even be done in that inning because Jose Abreu, MVP, my pick click, comes through. It goes back to back with him to make this thing 4-1. White Sox are rolling early, Buzz.
You remember when we traded for Cesar Hernandez at the trade deadline? And he came in to be the team leader in home runs, or was he tied with Abreu?
He was tied with Abreu at the time.
He was tied with Abreu. Abreu has been on a fucking tear, if anybody was wondering, in August, and it's been absolutely amazing. Abreu is just showing why he was the MVP last year. A lot of people were afraid, he's not going to get his 30 home runs and usual 100 RBI season. Well, yeah, you don't fucking think so? I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet right. I'm good. I'll take that shit right now. Abreu's been on fire.
When you bet against Pito, you're going to have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time when you do that.
Okay.
If you're gonna lose if you bet against him, you're gonna lose all your money, and it's all gonna be gone.
And once again, I don't have the figures pulled up in front of me, but everybody talks about it, and there have been stats from other times when he has been productive in this month. And August just seems to be friendly to him. Seems like he gets in a groove. I think it's that time of the year. I think part of it plays the weather, so ball is carrying a little bit more at various parks where you're playing at. And I think it's just a good time of the year for him that things start clicking, especially for a veteran guy. Sometimes maybe like a little bit slower at the beginning of the year when it's cold and you're playing in Chicago and it's like early April and it's like 34 degrees
and it sucks for the people that grew up here too.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to get going, but obviously Pito able to come back into his own.
I got you on that. I got you on those stats, Nani, if you want them real quick.
Yeah, hit me with when I put the video out of the Abreu home run from Sox on Tap, I said Jose Abreu owns the month of August. He hit me with them. Tell me why he owns the month of August. What are the stats here?
This month, Johnny, he's played in 24 games. He's hitting .302. His on-base percentage is .352. His slugging percentage is .625. He's a .977 OPS. He's hit 9 home runs. He's driven in 20 this month. He's walked 6 times, and he's had 4 doubles. So he's absolutely killing it this month.
Yeah. I mean, when you said the slugging percentage, I think I might need a new change of pants here in a little bit when you said that. But
there's nothing embarrassing.
It's just
about
great.
That at
it's
all.
great to see, and the best way I can sum it up is as our fellow panelist who's not on the show tonight was on last night though. Tony on Tap would say that's MVP shit, Buzz.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, he's just he's on fucking fire, dude. I mean, in the month of August, just to put this in perspective for everybody listening right now, because we're gonna give Pito love because we love Pito on this show. MV Pito. Jose Abreu has a 331 batting average with 55 home runs, 161 RBIs, and 136 runs scored in 211 games in the month of August in his career.
That's pretty damn good.
Excuse me.
That's fucking outstanding. That's
That's
awesome.
fucking,
I love. So I think it was last night on the broadcast. Yeah. And it was Gordon Beckham, obviously filling in for Steve Stone while he's on vacation. But he had said, it's supposed to be the summer of George. It's the August of Abreu. So a little shout out to our guy, summer of George. Obviously not directly, based off the Seinfeld quote, but hilarious nonetheless. And then August of Abreu, I like that too. Yeah, that was a good catch line in there. So, Buzz, this was all happening in the third inning. There's still much more to go here. But one last thing before we move on, I'd be remiss if I did not talk about this. We just praised Pito for a little bit. Need to give more Luis Robert praise here because that at bat in which he hit the home run was outstanding. Goes down 0-1. This is against Hyunjin Ryu, who has a variety of pitches. I think he throws about 4 to 5. It's all over the place, and you got to basically, I think Gordon Beckham put it well as a former player. You got to be looking basically zones of the plate, in, out, up, down, whatever, instead of trying to sit on a pitch type, whereas you may be able to do that with a 3-pitch or 2-pitch pitcher. Either way, Robert has a great at bat, very professional at bat for just being a second-year guy here. Goes down 0-1 in the count, fouls 3 in a row off there. So obviously it's 0-2 at this point. Takes 3 straight balls when Ryu's trying to get him to chase junk. Low and out, just low. And then he fouls off another one. After that, when Ryu comes back closer to the zone, then on the 9th pitch of the at-bat, that is when he sent that moonshot out to left center, Buzz. So props to Luis Robert.
You guys are getting so much better at rolling the R's. I feel embarrassed doing it now. So I'm gonna leave everybody waiting. I'm gonna leave everybody waiting.
Oh, yeah, because you unload the bomb. If I know what I'm talking about and I know it's gonna come, I can kind of prepare myself for it better now. Whereas you kind of like hit it like hard early, but then when you get one though, like you said, you feel like sometimes you chip your tooth when it's really exciting.
Yeah, you fucking chip your tooth. That's so great. No, you know what I was really proud of at bet too is Ryu came after him with some breaking shit, and he didn't bite. And that was awesome. So that was a very big at bat in this game. And I know it was early, and obviously, it was 3-1 or whatever, but still, growth like that is what you want to see out of Eloy and Luis Robert, because they're always chasing that breaking shit. And if they don't, when it's outside of the zone, it just makes them that much more dangerous. Because what are you going to do? You going to walk them, or are you going to fucking pitch to them?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And
pick your poison.
Pick your poison type shit. So absolutely love that. Like I said, he's just been on such a fucking tear since he's been back, dude.
Let's talk about some more runs first before we have to go into the kind of downfall that was the middle of this game here. In the top of the 4th, White Sox wouldn't be done. Vaughn leads it off the walk. Southside Cesar, the single. Goodwin, big fly out here, and Gordon Beckham pointed out this fly out advances. It was deep enough to right center to advance runners to second and third, and that's where Lurie Garcia pulls one down the line, hitting right-handed at this point. So down the left field line, 2 RBI double to make it 6-1. Good guys. After Sebi struck out, Tim Anderson wasn't done. Another 2-out performance here, Tim Anderson, and he brings home Lurie with an RBI single of his own to make it 7-1. That inning would end with a Robert ground into a force play, but hey, adding on more runs here. Obviously, they were much needed, Buzz, because if this is where they stopped in this game, it would be tied at 7, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But hey, good to see Timmy back. Legs are underneath him. They interviewed him in the post game, said he's feeling good. Legs are feeling good. Off days were, definitely good for him. So that was all good stuff to hear. And then Cesar Hernandez, we talked about him a little bit earlier. Nice to see him getting out of a little funk here. And then Lurie Legend, just doing Lurie Legend things, Buzz.
Absolutely. He's fucking clutch, dude. He's fucking clutch. He's got 43 RBIs on the year. Or 42 or 43. I think it's one of the two. He's got 42 or 43 RBIs on the year. He's missed some time with injury. He's not a guy that's been, when everybody's healthy, he doesn't play every day. So I mean, I love Lurie Garcia. It's 42 RBI, actually. I'm sorry.
Longest tenured White Sox, baby.
Yeah, I'm a big Lurie guy. So I'm glad that he kicked some ass today. Had a really good game filling in for Makata for sure. So then you get into the bottom of the 5th, Johnny. And Marcus Semien, he's just a thorn in our side, dude. He's becoming a White Sox killer. I don't know if you agree with that statement, but I'm saying
yes, Buzz, I do agree with that because obviously during his time with the A's, that's where it kind of started. Obviously, being a former White Sox too, you kind of have a little bit more regret about that one, sending him away. But obviously, it kind of started with the A's, and then I will give the White Sox credit; they were able to neutralize them for the most part in the early part of the series, but. You can't keep like a 3.3 WAR player down too long, and it showed up today, and that's where he did his damage against us.
Yeah, he had a good game. It's just goddamn, we had him, man. That's just something that always drives me nuts is that we had him, and it just didn't work out. But he hits a single that'll score McGuire in the bottom of the 5th. In the top of the 6th.
Oh God,
I thought Sebi hit that to the fucking moon. It didn't turn out to go to the moon, and it didn't turn out to even be a home run. It was a double that ended up scoring Lurie, who DFA Lurie, who was on base again.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk shit, but actually, Lurie's the man, and for all you guys that talk shit about Lurie, Jonnie and I are fucking president and vice president of the fan club.
Yeah, come see us. Sockside Pride is up there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know what? Lurie Garcia, legend. But Sebi smacks a ball to center field that I thought was going to go. It was like right center. Didn't end up going. Whatever, it's fine. But that ended up, and there was 2 outs on that.
Yes.
That ended up scoring Lurie Garcia from first.
Correct.
So,
I wanted to actually, it was from second because he did advance. He did advance on a wild pitch in between there. But I want to bring that up. We talked about Tim Anderson getting the party started again earlier with 2 outs, and you feel like it might be like a wasted inning or whatever. But guess what? This is the bottom of the lineup doing it this time. It didn't even have to turn over, and that's Lurie Garcia coming through with a 2-out single. And then, like I'd mentioned, advancing, wild pitch. Pitcher just yanked it, kind of similar to Kimbrel. Status was like, when you go and look at like the, pitch graphic on MLB Game Day, it was like way, way, way outside. So that advances Lurie to second. But Sebi did hit that hard enough, and I agree. At first, I thought it was out too, but then you see Randall Grichuk out there kind of jumping, slamming into the wall. It was too high for him to catch. I think he was close, but it was too high for him. Obviously, that's a taller wall out there in right center. And it was hilarious too, Buzz, because obviously the result of the play, great, brings in another run.
Yeah.
Obviously White Sox would need it. And this, and we talk like whenever I'm on with Tony, because we do Hawks, we talk about game-winning goals for 4 feathers, game-winning hits. This is technically the game-winning hit in this game because of what would happen in the bottom of the 6th, Buzz. So props to Sebi first there, and then second of all, hilarious call by Benetti when they showed the replay of Grichuk jumping into the wall to try and catch that thing. Says, Grichuk almost took down, because it was right where the scoreboard is, the LED scoreboard out in the right field wall. Almost took down the Twins in their 50 something and 70 something record. So a little slight jab at the Twins. I was fucking dying. It was great.
I love Benetti, man. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So to score Sebi after that, our boy Timmy, who had a 3-hit game today, he's shallows to center. Or singles to shallow center, I'm sorry, and they'll score Sebi Zavala. Now, this is the part that I'm a little sketched on because I half listened to Len and DJ. I half watched this at the office while I had some things kind of going on there. Michael Kopech enters the game for Carlos Rodon, who ended up getting the win, by the way. He's 10-5 on the year now. Kopech comes in, and he has a really, really rough inning, Jonnie. 27 pitches. He let up 4 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. He struck out 1 and let up a long ball. Hard inning for Michael Kopech.
Dude, if you listen, listeners, if you tuned into the show last night, I was hot. I was the definition of mad online. Negative Nani returned. I was ready to fucking just, obliterate everybody in the bullpen because we have seen it just too much. It's just too much for how good they are, because I know they're talented. That's the thing. It would be different, Buzz, if this was 2018, 2019 White Sox and you don't have the full cast there. Maybe you have a couple of arms that you can get the job done with. It's different. We went to a guy that we didn't think could do it. But these are like top guys that we're going to. We had Bummer last night, a guy who's been outstanding in 2019. Obviously got a big contract, not a big, but long contract from the White Sox after that. You got a guy like Kopech who has been pretty nails this year, so I can't go and dive into him too much. And props to our guy, Sockside Mike, who's frequently in these streams, follows us on Twitter. He had said that rumor is that Kopech was tipping his slider. So I believe that because Blue Jays able to string a number of hits together in this inning. Obviously, Kopech didn't help himself either by hitting the second batter after allowing a leadoff single there. But hits being strung together there, so I agree that there may be something going on with Kopech. Hopefully they can look at the tape, look at the mechanics, go and adjust that stuff. But Buzz, I thought we were going to have another meltdown. And go and tell everybody, because it was hilarious. We had our Sox on Tap group text today. When this was all going down, this is all during the heat of the bottom of the sixth inning. Tell everyone what you said and what the new designation for the bullpen is when they shit the bed like this.
Oh, yeah. You can't call it the bullpen because bulls are cool and tough. We're calling it the cow pen right now. So it's the fucking cow pen right now. Because I am very irritated with all of this bullshit that we have to keep dealing with. Jonnie, we went into the fucking sixth, dude. Randy, we went into the sixth fucking inning. Okay, the bottom of six with a 9-2 lead, dude. See, he's becoming the liquor right now. For everybody who's not watching the stream, Johnny's took a nice little drink there of his drinky poo, and he is a little fucking irritated. Like, dude, this has to stop. This needs to get cleaned up. Yeah. It needs to get cleaned up, and I think it will. I'm not going to overreact about it, but it is enough to piss me off a little bit. So it's now the cow pen until they fucking prove me wrong and they can start getting consistent outs and not blow leads like this. It's right what we were talking about before we came on the episode. Why can't we have blowouts? Like, just make this a blowout. Fucking foot on throat, dude. It's always we got Scott Mo in here. It's always just one of them. That's what he says right now. What's up, Beer Garden Jim? But it's just unbelievable to me that. And I'm not going to bitch at Kopech either. I'm taking your route on this. I'm on the road that you're
overall very reliable. I guess if there's anyone that I think I went a little off the rails last night because Bummer we know he can be better. And
underwhelmed.
He just has exactly underwhelmed this year.
Yeah, I just dude, like it was surprising for me. Like I know that Kopech had a rough couple. He hasn't been himself lately. But this was just something crazy. And, there's a lot of scrutiny leaving him in too long. Did Tony leave him in too long? You pull him too quick. Listen, I'm so sick of speculating on that shit. He had to work out of it. He worked the fuck out. He had a big enough lead.
You had the lead to be able to, But if it's a closer game, I guarantee the hook comes sooner.
Right.
Let's say that.
But, I mean, there was a huge, like I said, you walked into the inning, Johnny. You walked into the bottom of the half inning, bottom of the sixth with a 9-2 lead.
Yep.
You leave that inning, Johnny. You leave that inning 9-7. That's how you leave that inning. So Kopech let up 5 of those runs, but he got out of it. And that's kind of good, I guess, but it was still nerve-wracking as shit.
Yeah. Just because, the scrutiny last night was if you weren't taking the bullpen route like I was, very hardcore, it was that the White Sox didn't score enough. Fair. Last night they did. You're damn right. The first game of the series, the third game of the series, they did not. Obviously, they were able to get 5 in the second game. But, so kind of sporadic hit or miss offense, it seems like as of late, at least in this series. And the other route, though, was that, like I said, you're getting on the offense for not scoring enough. Well, guess what? They gave him plenty of shit today, and we got to the point where it was almost, obviously still with a 2-run cushion there, but still with being up by 7, you don't like to see that in one inning. It just feels bad, man. It feels bad for morale, and it also. I just want one last comment. Now I'll leave the bullpen alone for now because I got my bitching out of the way. And
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
And you know what the thing is?
Cow pen?
Yeah, the cow pen. And I do actually have some praise because after this, we would see some nice innings. We would see some uneventful innings, which I like. And I'll get into those guys in a second here. But overall, I want to see the bullpen as a core for what they're touted on as paper. One of the best in the game. Obviously, we all know that. We all know the names that are there. We all know the stuff that's there. I want to see them string together multiple games of uneventful stuff where it's just like, we go to these guys and they're locked down. Sure. Every once in a while, someone made a comment, and I kind of roasted it a little bit today when this whole thing was going on, but I was just heated during that 6th inning. It was that, sometimes you're going to have some blips. It's going to happen. Okay, I can take a step back and concede that. But overall, you need to get this thing on the right track, string together these games because you need to get that confidence level up for when the pressure is immense in October. Immense, and stuff that a lot of these guys have not faced. When you're talking about Kopech, even opted out of last year. He was not part of that 2020 team. Granted, it was only a 3-game short little playoff run there. But still, a lot of this, you're going to need to be locked in, and you want to have your A shit when you're going into a series in October. And that's all that my concerns are kind of revolving around in that, because we have just seen it too many times for how many times are we just going to say, oh, well, next time Liam will go get him. Next time Kimbrel will go and get him. Kimbrel did go and get him today, so I'll give him that. But you just don't want to see massive leads evaporate like that, because that happens in the playoff. Momentum can switch like that. A young, inexperienced team, let's call us what we are. We're young and inexperienced overall. You're going to get eaten up by that in the postseason. And a really good team, the Astros team that like everybody has like a fucking 350 OBP, they're going to destroy you in that. So that's where my concerns lie. I just wanted to finish that. And like I said, I have bullpen praise coming after this, but I just wanted to finish my point on that, kind of a carryover from last night. And I think you can at least sympathize with the sentiment that I'm getting at here.
Oh, 100% too. And I really, truly believe, Jonnie, that the reason that we kind of got out with minimal damage done is like, Kopech obviously got rocked in the bottom of the 6th. He worked through it. He had to go up against Grichuk. He went through a lot of fucking people here, but a lot of the runs too also came in, like from, Bichette. Simeon hit another home run in that inning. They got into like the middle, like after the 6th inning, they got in the middle to the end of that lineup, and they didn't really have too many bats that you're too scared of. Like if it was the top of the order again, I feel like we would have got fucked. Like I felt like Vlad was playing really good. You know what I mean? The point I'm trying to get at is like I felt like Vlad, Simeon, and Bichette were playing so good.
So where it was like in a roundabout way where it left off actually maybe benefited the White Sox going into the latter innings. Is that what you're getting at here?
I think so. Yeah, I really do. Like they went on their little fucking run, and
I
then
can see that. Yeah,
we stayed away from like the good, like the big names there.
Yeah, after the big one had come and the bomb had dropped, and
so I was just like, oh my god, thank God we didn't have to see them again, because every time those fucks come up, dude, I'm telling you, that Toronto team next year, they're in. I think they're going to add more. I think with pitching and shit like that. But I mean, I know I'm going off a little bit, but just watching them in a 4-game series like we did, thank God we took 2 of them. The talent that is on that team is just fucking stupid. It's stupid.
We talked about it, Buzz, when I was over at your place for watching the game Friday night to open the Tampa series. They got a young core, and they did it right. Just like you talk about, the White Sox did it right in building their core too, with the position players there. So obviously a lot of them there. And then their mentality is a lot more attack. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, attack. They go and they like to swing at first pitches. They like to swing early in the count. They like to go out and be the aggressors there at the plate. So yeah, I agree with you. Scary team in years to come, with the division that they have and the other wild card teams vying there. Don't think they're going to make it this year, but overall, they're on the upward trajectory here. So that kind of rounds that out here. Let's get into more good shit, because that was kind of the low point of the show. We went up on the roller coaster. We had a huge, massive dip. We just came down. Let's go back up, Buzz.
Yeah, back up. And that's when the cowpin becomes the bullpen again. So, and that's not a shot at Kopech. It's just the performance that he had. We get to Para. He comes in. He pitches an inning, 8 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Beautiful. Like Jonnie says, uneventful. Get the fuck out of it. Keep the lead. Call it a day. And there's no scoring there, not even for the Sox in that inning. So then we get Garrett Crochet. 8 pitches out of the inning. 1 strikeout for Crochet. Good work. Good work.
Very, very nice play by Cesar up the middle, too. He had a couple defensive plays earlier in the game, had a diving stop. This was more of a regular backhand, but he was moving away from first base. Made a nice play up the middle. Crochet able to retire, struck out the first one. That was the second out of the inning. And then third one was a ground out to first base. So nice work from Crochet, too. I love uneventful innings, Buzz.
Yeah, uneventful innings are cool and tough when you have the lead. Okay, so
very much so.
That is when they're cool. So then we get into the top of the 9th, Jonnie. Like I said, the scoring is, it's 9-7. Sox are up after that huge 6th inning, bottom of the 6th inning that Toronto had to make their comeback. Well, somewhat of a comeback, 9-7. Luis Robert strikes out. Abreu flies out. Why don't we make it 10-7, Jonnie? Why don't we do that? Eloy Jimenez, home run to center field to add that insurance run to make us feel good about ourselves going into the bottom of the 9th with a 3-run cushion. Then, for his first save as a Chicago White Sox, Craig Kimbrel comes in and does some fucking work, Jonnie. Does some work. So I was really happy with that.
And Buzz, I love some transparency on his end too, because Kimbrel post-game interviewed, he says on his previous struggles had nothing to do what inning it was, because obviously that was something floating around. Oh, he needs to have the ninth. Oh, you need to, whatever, readjust. So Hendricks is going eighth and whatever and all that. And I kind of bought into that at some point too, but Kimbrel himself here says post-game had nothing to do with inning it was, had everything to do with the stuff that I was working on. James Fegan had a piece for The Athletic that said he was working on, not getting underneath the fastball and also getting it to spin the way that he wants. So that's stuff mechanically that he has been working on here. So that's what I was most impressed with today with Craig Kimbrel. He did allow one single, but ended up being no damage. And that one single did come to Vlad Jr. So that's an MVP candidate right there. In the American League. Backtracking real quick, obviously, I think we'll talk a little bit more about these back-end bullpen guys. I do need to give some praise after I chat on the majority of the pen last night. But Eloy's, now that we talk about easy power, easy swing, that's what it looked like. And the insurance blast gave me peace of mind, Buzz, and I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, Eloy coming up in a big moment. I mean, at least it felt big because you wanted to add another run. This Jays team is fucking dangerous. So.
More 2-out hitting as well. Let's go. That happened with 2 outs.
Yep, it did. More 2-out hitting as well. Not having, like you said earlier in the show, dude, not believing the inning is dead because you have 2 outs. Coming out there, making it happen. Craig Kimbrel, too. Just one thing here, man. The last 3 innings of that game for our pitchers, we had 16 pitches between Tepera and Crochet, and Kimbrel comes out and throws 6. The 6 pitches, Johnny. And he gets the save. Absolutely loved what I saw out of him. Let's just keep it rolling. Let's keep, hopefully these guys start getting some motivation and realizing that it's dog eat dog. We need to win. And they have fun competition with each other and who could shut people down the most. Because if that bullpen, I'll call it bullpen in this instance, not the cow pen. If that bullpen gets that kind of, I don't know, man, that mindset behind them, that motivation, they will be dangerous.
Some confidence too, Buzz. Dude, when you do something shitty for just in general, don't take baseball out of it. Whatever the hell you're doing, it's your job. You do something shitty 3 times in whatever the fuck it is, 3 times in a row, 2 times in a row, you start to feel a little bit down and you're like, oh my God. And like then you get the mental aspect creeping in. But when you do it really well, consecutive times in a row, you start to feel good about it. And then you feel more confident. Next one. Then sure, you might have a little minor fuck up, but then it's easier to get back on track. But if you're just constantly going on the downslope, it's hard to dig yourself out of that. So that's more of where I'm at. And that's a very non-analytical take here. This is literally just a mindset and kind of a vibe mentality I'm going after here. But that's what Thursday happy hour at Sox on Tap's for, Buzz. The vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the vibes all the time. Well, Johnny, that ends the game. We broke it down. Sox end up winning it, like we said, 10-7. They split the series 2-2 with Toronto. Went 7-7 against. That was a very hard stretch. 7-7. Obviously we wish we would come out 8-7, but it shows that they can hold their own against very good teams, especially here in the AL. Tomorrow, John, damn it, Jim.
Our guy Jim Schrammick, our beer review guy over at On Tap Sportsnet, Beer Garden Jim. Give him a follow on Twitter if you don't already. But he says Johnny got some major Owen Wilson vibes going on there, and yes, absolutely. That is kind of what I was striving for here, Jim. So thanks for shouting that out. I appreciate that. And fucking second of all, hilarious. It's it's just where we're at when I'm talking about, not super deep into the numbers here, but that's just what I'm getting at, the vibes, and that's what Owen Wilson's all about. So yeah, let's move on, Buzz.
Moving on to tomorrow, it starts the Crosstown, the last of the Crosstown. White Sox swept the Cubs last time we saw them. It'll probably happen again. So tomorrow it'll be Keegan Thompson for the Cubs. Who? Right-handed pitcher, 3-3 with a 2.42 ERA, 44 and 2/3 innings pitched for him. He struck out 44, let up 7 long balls, walked 24, going up against Diamond Dallas Keuchel, 8-7 and 4.71 ERA, 135, 2/3 innings pitched. He's let up 139 hits. He struck out 82, walked 46, let up 22 long balls. So that's the matchup tomorrow. It's against the Cubs. I'm not trying to take any team for granted. I want to keep piling it on, keep getting, improving our record and doing what we're doing here. But it's kind of nice that you could take a breath going into tomorrow's game and hopefully, take a win out of it. You return home for a stretch of about a week here. So let's go make a count against the Cubs, man, because it's always fun to beat the Cubs regardless of where we're at.
Yeah, so if it's on the flip side here, Buzz, the Cubs fans in their like heyday and their golden age, so they call it, they would have been, oh, we don't even think of this as a rivalry. It's just another game. It's inconsequential. It's not division. Guess what? Fuck these guys. Fuck the Cubs, Buzz. You know my mentality on them. Fuck them. They're our crosstown rivals, competing. I've mentioned it a million times before. Dollars, ears, loyalty, listener, all of that shit. Merchandise sales, all of that stuff. Go and beat the piss out of them. Show them why we are Chicago's team now. I want blood this weekend. I know, like you said, you can kind of relax after like the harder stretch, and I agree with that to an extent. But at the same time, from mentality,
you just want death. You just want death. Yeah.
Beat these fuckers into the ground, and they're obviously in a rebuilding stage. So I know where they're at, and I understand they had to do it just with the contracts that are coming off the books. But hey, better time than just step on their graves, piss on them, as NWI Steve would like to say, because I don't like these guys at all. I think their fan base is extremely arrogant for the most part. There are a few good apples in there, but overall the vibe that I get from is terrible. So unfortunately, I'll be out there, dealing with some of them in the crowd, but luckily they'll be at our place, and hopefully the play on the field just speaks for itself. I don't need to be getting into fights. I don't need to be getting into verbal arguments with anyone. I'm just going to point when Yasmani Grandal comes back tomorrow and drops the fucking bat. That's what we need to talk about next. It's fucking Yas money time, Buzz.
He got ejected tonight.
Yes,
from the
he
game,
did,
and that was.
That's only
calculated.
That's only because he had to catch his flight back to Chicago.
Exactly.
So he was getting his money's
fully
worth
calculated, Johnny. Yeah. It's fully calculated. He got ejected from the game tonight in Charlotte so he can catch an earlier flight to come back and bat drop on them motherfuckers. Get nice and comfortable. Do what he's got to do. Get all of his shit packed up. Leave Charlotte. Yeah, let's go.
I'll answer this question in serious terms here, really quick, just because Scott Moe asks from Periscope, is he back? Meaning Yasmani Grandal, who we were just talking about. So not officially. He is not reinstated from the injured list. He did start, like we'd mentioned, in Charlotte tonight, played first base for them. But in his first at bat, he struck out and obviously wasn't too happy with it. So he gave the ump an earful and was ejected. This is in the bottom of the first inning for the Charlotte Knights, a home game there. So
this Tony is totally tinfoil hat.
No. Tony La Russa did hint at it. He gave it kind of like, like a smirking, like, kind of
it's imminent.
Yeah, kind of a drive-by comment that, oh, you may see Yaz back tomorrow. That, we've seen the hints go on with Carlos Rodon. They can't officially say it yet, leading up to it this week, but then they finally made it clear on, the Wednesday before that he was coming back. So Yaz is kind of the same situation, just a day push back here. So I would imagine that he's back for the series. We'll see what the corresponding move, Buzz. I think that's the next kind of topic of discussion here, one of the last ones on the show, is that who goes down if Yasmani Grandal is indeed back on Friday?
It's got to be Collins.
I would agree.
I don't think it'll be Collins. I think it'll be Sebi. And I've read in some spots, I've seen some opinions from other guys. I actually kind of formed my own opinion. I was like, I wonder if they send Mendick down.
Mendick went today when Rodon came back.
Oh, that's right. Mendick went today. I apologize. Mendick went today. So it's going to be definitely, I don't know if they were going to carry 3 or not. I doubt it. So I think that it's going to be probably Sebi because, Rick Hahns just wants to shit on. I don't want Collins up here. He adds nothing. Yaz is a switch hitter, so it's fine. You have your left-handed bat there, your power bat there. I just don't want to. I don't want to see Sebi go down. I know he got, kind of scolded earlier in the week or whatever and, pissed a lot of people off. He can't block balls real well behind the plate, but he calls a better game, in my opinion. I know Collins did call a no-hitter. But, I think that it should be definitely Collins, but we'll see what happens.
Performance-based, agree 100% should be Collins. It'll be interesting to see if there are any kind of internal politics at play with the decision here. But at the same time, remember, I wouldn't think it would be too far-fetched to be the move that everybody is hoping for. Kind of, I hate to say that because I don't like to talk down about any of our players, even if they are struggling or at any point. But the kind of popular opinion is that, yes, Zach Collins should go down, and that's all based on performance, though. Guess what? When Yasmani Grandal went down on July 5th, after that, our guy Duke, that pod guy Duke, wrote an article about this is Zach Collins' time to step up. This is his time to, seize the moment. This is time to prove why he can be a guy of the future because, he has only signed for, more years and all, whatever, all that stuff. So implications beyond, but then also implications for right now, implications for making a postseason roster, implications for being around here when Diaz comes back. Obviously, they needed to have another catcher. They brought Sebi Zavala up. We had the Sebi Zavala game when he hit those 3 home runs, and that was, magical. He's had his spurts. He had some occasional power. We've seen, a blast to get one down in Tampa Bay last weekend. He did that double off the wall earlier today in this game that we just talked about, Buzz. Overall, behind the plate, you go and look at the metrics. Framing is better. Defense overall is better. Sure, there maybe have been some instances of blocking. I will give Collins credit that he had improved his blocking over the past maybe 2 weeks or so when he had been in situations catching some of those guys with some really tough breaking stuff into the dirt. Give him credit there, but overall, when you go and look at the numbers, Sebi deserves to be here more than Collins. That's my piece.
I'm 100% with you, man. Well, if he's back tomorrow, pick to click, Jonnie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fucking, you goddamn know it.
I know,
goddamn well. It's Yasmani Grandal wearing the damn jersey. Yes.
The Yasmanian devil, baby.
Absolutely. If by chance, I will throw a backup out there because this is not confirmed. Let's see. Right. This is Sox on Tap. He's not getting, Tony La Russa has not confirmed this to reporters. They have not made a roster move yet. That would probably not come until tomorrow in the early afternoon, I would guess anyway, if it is to happen. But I will give a backup in that case that it is not tomorrow that he's coming back. And with Keegan Thompson for the Cubs going right-handed pitcher here, left-handed bat, Yo is going to be back in the lineup tomorrow. So I'll go with Yoan as my backup. But if not, Yaz Money is the number 1 pick. How about you?
I'm gonna go Eloy Jimenez because he loves beating up on his former team.
Yes, he does.
So I'm gonna go
very much so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eloy Jimenez. Tomorrow is my pick to click. Jonnie, in 10 games against the Cubs in his career, Eloy Jimenez is batting .389 with 5 home runs and 10 ribbies. So that's in 10 games against the Cubs in his career. I'm going to take Eloy Jimenez.
Buzz, if you remember Sox Fest, I think it was 2020 before pandemic shut everything down. So this is still in like January of that year, obviously. But obviously we had the 2019 game where he hit the kind of broken bat home run out to left field at Wrigley in one of his first games there to give the White Sox the lead late in that game. They would end up going on to win. And the whole Benetti call, here's your hero tonight. Asked him about it at the Sox Fest 2020. What was your favorite, home run of the 2019 season, his rookie season? And he said, against Cubs, and the crowd went wild. And he said, you know why, and they know why. So those statistics that you just brought up there are not an anomaly. He has an elevated sense of play when he plays the team that traded him away.
Yeah, absolutely does. Absolutely does. And that's why I picked him, man. He wants to come out and beat the shit out of those guys just as bad as we want to see them get the shit kicked out of them. So that's my pick to click, man. I don't really have anything else before we ride out here. You got anything?
No. Other than that, Evan Marshall started a rehab assignment at Charlotte tonight. He did go 1 inning, struck out 2, let up 1 hit, scoreless though on the night for him. He was just assigned today to begin his rehab assignment. So last thing, I guess, my last point of any sort of substance thoughts here is that Marshall needs to prove his worth when he's back, both at his rehab assignment and then if he gets called up when rosters expand in September, because it's going to be tough to crack that playoff roster. Some guys that that maybe have been around for a little bit that are going to be left off. So it'll be interesting to see what Marshall does over the next course of the next kind of 3.5 weeks or so.
Yeah, I hope nothing but the best for Marshall. I'm a huge Evan Marshall guy.
I am too. I really am too. It's been a tough struggle for him this year after outstanding seasons in both 2019 and 2020. Yep. So I just wanted to point that out there. That was the last bit of news that I had. Other than that, Buzz, that's all I've got. Nice to split this series. Nice to go 7-7 in the stretch here. White Sox can't beat good teams. Well, I guess they can go 500. They can go even against good teams. So I'll leave it at that. That's all I've got.
Absolutely. Let's go kick the shit out of the Cubs tomorrow. Everybody be sure you're going on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Sox on Tap, at On Tap Sportsnet. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us 5-star rating and review because that's cool and tough. Go to Grandstand for all your Sox gear or Chicago sports gear. GrandstandSox.com. Follow them on socials at Grandstand Sox. Some variation of us will be back tomorrow after the Sox beat the shit out of the Northsiders. White Sox forever.
White Sox